Good morning, everyone. The student, participants, faculty members, speaker for the day, and all my dear friends. I am K. Harshita, CSI MBSR Student Body Coordinator. A warm welcome to the one-day webinar on file management using C programming, hosted by the Information Technology in association with the CSI MBSR Student Branch. May I now request Dr. A.V. Krishna Prasad Sir, Associate Professor, ITD, CSI MBSR Student Body Senior Faculty Advisor, to introduce the topic of today's webinar.
Thank you, Arshita. Good morning to all. Respected convener, CSI MBSR Student Branch, Head and CEC Department, J. Prasanna Kumar Garu, Head IT Department, Jayasri Madam, today's speaker, Veeraya Garu, Student Branch Counselor, Dr. Sirisha, Event Coordinators, Bhavani Madam, Ramya Madhavi, Student Organizers, participants. Once again, I welcome you all for this webinar. This file management using C programming. I think most of the students, this you studied in your first year while studying C programming. Exam point of view, learn the concepts like basic terms, functions used in used in files. The target audience for this webinar are second year students, those who are trying to learn database systems. The idea behind this organizing webinar is all the students must practice at least 10 programs related to files with different applications. Then you can understand the advantages or disadvantages, what type of problems you are going to face while performing file operations. So if you understand these difficulties or problems in file processing applications, then you can see the necessity of database systems. Once you got the idea of requirement of database systems, you can feel that you can get the feel importance of database systems or MySQL software. You can enjoy the fruits of database concepts. You can remember forever. So based on that only, we arranged this file processing systems. Thanks to the speaker, Dr. Veeraya Garu, for accepting our invitation in short notice and came here to share his knowledge. I request all the participants to focus on this session and concentrate on this session and learn the concepts and practice file programs. Now I request Harshita. I hand over the mic to Harshita for further processing.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Jayashree Ma'am, Head IT Department, to welcome the gathering.
Good morning, students. A very warm welcome to all students. And today's speaker, Dr. Veeraya from Mahindra Ecole. Good morning, sir. A warm welcome to Department of IT. And CSI convener, J. Prasanna Kumar, sir, Professor, CSI Department. And CSI Student Branch Coordinator, SBC, Dr. Shirisha. And faculty coordinators of this webinar, Dr. Krishna Prasad, Ramya Madhavi, and Amma Bhavani, and my dear student coordinators and students of the listeners of the seminar. Okay, very warm welcome to everyone. With the idea to appreciate the concept of database management system, the course that you're currently having in your current second year right now, which is there in your curriculum, we thought of planning a webinar so that if we can feel the difficulty of file management, the problems, the drawbacks that you face in file management, we can better appreciate the purpose of database management. So with that intention, this webinar has been planned. So I kindly request all of you to focus on this seminar. So without wasting much of the time, I kindly hand over the session to speaker and to Harshita for further processing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Professor J. Prasanna Kumar sir, Head CSE Department, Convener CSI MBSR Student Body, to welcome the gathering.
Thank you all. Very good morning to one and all. Dr. Jayashree Madam, Head IT, Dr. Veeraya Garu, today's speaker, Dr. Krishna Prasad, Co-Convener for CSI Student Branch, Dr. D. Sirisha, SBC CSI, and Amba Bhavani Madam and Ramya Madhavi Madam for Faculty Event Organizing Team from IT Department, and student coordinators Naveshri, Harshita, Janavi, and their entire team who are indirectly supporting this event. It's a good practice to have regular sessions for students, and more so, as Madam was saying, which is relevant to the present ongoing semesters. Good initiative from IT department in association with CSI MVSR student chapter. I'm sure programs like this will definitely motivate students, and it will be very useful. And once again, from my side, a big thanks to Dr. Veeraya Garu for accepting our invitation and being here today. And I'm sure the session is going to be very fruitful. And I wish my best wishes for such sessions. And thank you once again for the opportunity provided for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request my friend Navyashri, CSI MBSR Student Body Coordinator, to introduce the speaker of the day.
Good morning all. I'm Navyasri, Coordinator of CSI MBSR Student Branch. Takes the pleasure in introducing the speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Veeraya. He is an Assistant Professor in the Computer Science Department at Mahindra University Central School of Engineering. Prior to joining MU, he was working as an Assistant Professor at KLU Vijayawada. He was also an Assistant Professor at Vignans University, Vadlamudi. He has completed his MTech from OU in 2009 and PhD from JNTU Hyderabad in 2011. His paper on mobile agents and their security at Osmania University during the National Workshop on Mobile Computing was awarded as the best paper. Dr. Veeraya presented a paper on digital signatures at CryptoSmart 2017 at Ritz Chevella and won the Best Paper Award. Dr. Veeraya has an experience of about 14 years in teaching and had acquired the skill of working under pressure and delivering the required in stipulated time. Teamwork is the most realized aspect for him. His research vision is to publish articles in top IEEE conferences on regular basis in image processing area. Hope you will all have a great time in this informative session. Now I hand over the session to Harshita.
Thank you, Navya. We welcome Dr. Veeraya sir. And sir, now you can take over the session, sir.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity and thanks for the introduction that you have given to me. And I'll proceed with the today's topic that is file management in C. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Anandal. Can I go ahead, sir?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah. I'm just sharing my screen. Yeah. So today's topic, file management in C or files in C are both are same, and I'd like to introduce what is a file and what are the functions related to the file and how to create a file from using the functions that are already there in C, and how to append the an existing file, and how to read a file, how to copy the contents of one file to another file, and whatever the functions that are there, and modifying the contents of a file by locating the file pointer to a desired location. So all these things we will see. This is the topic that we are going to discuss, as Sar rightly pointed out, and this could be this could be the what is called the basic the disadvantages of general file management will be the advantages for the database management that leads to the development of database management. And so you have to study that one. When you are studying the introduction to database management, you will study what are the disadvantages or drawbacks of file management. Then you will proceed with the database management systems. And so this could be an introduction to that database management. And as we have seen this, I can define a file, a collection of data, as we all have seen this. If you can able to see the screen, can you able to see the screen? Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Okay. So then let us define the file first. It is a collection of data or information that are stored on a computer, and you can call it as, let us call it as a file. A file is a collection of bytes stored on secondary storage device, whatever you save it, and it will be certainly stored on the secondary storage device. As long as you are working with that file will be in the main memory. Once you save the contents and close that file, and it goes on to the secondary storage device. There are different types of files: data files, text files, program files, directory files, which we can deal at the moment. We are not discussing the database files or image files. So many types of files are there. But when we are discussing particularly the file management in C, we can discuss in terms of these data files, text files, program files, directory files, these things. We can create a directory, and we can for a particular purpose, and we can store all related files in that particular directory. We know what is a directory, what is a program file, what is a text file, what is a data file, and different types of files store different types of information, as we have seen. See, for example, if it is a text file, it stores only text information, sequence of characters. If it is a program file, you can store the programming instructions, and you have to save with that file under .c or .java or .c++, whatever the programming language it might be in which you are writing the files. And like that, different types of files stores different types of information. And see, if you take a file, every file will have a beginning and an ending. And in the beginning, the file will be marked at the beginning of the file. Initially, the file marker or file pointer will be located at the beginning of the file. We can move the marker to any other position in the file by using certain functions that are there. They are already provided by the language. We can make use of them. We need a marker to mark the current position of the file from the beginning while reading and performing reading and write operations that takes place on files. The new current position can be specified as an offset from the beginning of the file. Okay, so these are the positioning of file and where to begin, where to end, and how to move to a file to a desired location. Is it possible? Yeah, it is possible, and all these things are available in a C language. And you see, there you have a different types of files called a file stream, you can call it. So in advanced programming languages, C++ or object-oriented programming language, if you take C++, Java, we will call these file management as streams. Okay, so a stream is nothing but a flow of data. A stream is nothing but flow of data. So they are not called as files there. We call them as streams, and corresponding classes we will make use of them. And a stream is nothing but flow of data that moves from one place to another. That is from program to file or file to program, vice versa. There are two types of streams generally. Text is a character streams and byte streams. Two types of streams are there. This character streams they are also called as text stream. It consists of sequence of characters. It is nothing but a sequence of character. Each line of characters in the stream may be terminated by a new line character. Text streams are used for textual data storage, and the other kind of streams are called binary streams, or you can also call them as byte streams. In other words, it is a series of bytes. Here, if every character is represented in terms of bytes, you can call it as a byte stream. Otherwise, you can call it as a character stream, or text stream. So binary streams are primarily used for non-textual data. See, for example, if you want to store numerical files, if you want to create numerical data files such as Excel data sheets, this, that, and all, in that case you may not use text files. You have to go for binary streams, which is required to keep exact contents of the file. Okay, so the difference between byte streams and text streams is it is as simple as that. Text streams are used to store textual information. Binary stream or byte streams generally used for non-textual streams. See, particularly if you take the file management in C, it supports these two kinds of files. One is text files, the other is binary files. So these are the two types of files. Here you have to call them as files, but you cannot call them as streams, because C supports only file concept. It does not support classes concept. Object oriented programming languages uses streams, but this is only deals with the character user interface, and it deals with the characters and numbers. Therefore, ASCII text files and binary files, you have to call it. These are the two types of files that we can create, manipulate, and remove. And so as we have seen it in the text streams, it is a text file can be a stream of characters that a computer can process sequentially. It is processed only in forward direction. You have to start at the beginning, go to the next character, read the next character, like that. You have to move it in forward direction till end of the file. Every file is marked with the end of the file. As we have seen every file will have a beginning and it will have an ending. It is marked with EOF. It is open in C particularly. It is open for one kind of operation. See, when you are opening a file, you must tell for what purpose you are opening it. Whether you are opening it for reading, whether you are opening it for writing, or appending, and appending in the sense adding text, adding information at the end of the current file at any given time. So we can read only one character at a time from these text files. So that is what a text file is. Okay, so then a binary file is a file consisting of collection of bytes. And if every byte is referred to, every character is represented as a byte, you can also call them as character streams. You can also call them as character streams, as I have mentioned earlier. Now you see the basic functions. I'll just, maximize this at this point for your purpose. So there are certain functions that are already available in C programming for manipulating or for managing the operations on files. One is fopen. Fopen, as we all know, creates a new file for use, and at the same time it opens an existing file as well. You can use this function for creating as well as to open an existing function, an existing file. If it is already there, you can open it. If it is not there, you have to create it. When you are creating a file, the file mode should be in write mode. It should be in write mode. Then once you are done with the operations of the files, at the end you must close the file pointer, closes a file which has opened for use. And then so if you, as we have seen, text files are character streams. Therefore you can read one character at a time, and it moves in forward direction. Therefore the getC function and putC function, it is wrongly mentioned as putS. GetC and putC, as we have seen it, they are just character functions. It reads a character getC from a file, and see, this putC will write a character to a file. Okay, so write a character to a file, and at the same time this getW reads an integer from a file. PutW, these two are integer functions. They just reads an integer from a file. It reads writes an integer into the file. fseek, this is sets the position to the desired point. See, if you want to move the cursor file pointer to a specific position, you can set that one with fseek. And let's see. And at the same time, fprintf, fscanf, this normal printf and scanf functions we use for reading it from the standard input device and writing that content onto the standard output device. That is, the standard input device is nothing but our keyboard from which we read the data. Standard output device is nothing but our monitor for displaying it. fscanf, generally it reads set of data values from files. If you want the data from a file, you can read it from by using fscanf. fprintf generally writes data into a file. So as we have seen, getW, putW, fseek. Fseek is nothing but this sets the position to a desired point in the files. ftell gives the current position in the file, and rewind generally takes the control to the beginning of the file again. Okay, so these are the basic functions that are there, which we can use for managing files in C. And at the same time, if you take a file, as you all know, it consists of two parts. One is the file name, the other is the extension name. Okay, so suppose this fib.c, in the sense, fib is the file name, .c is the extension name. In the same way, a.txt, if you take, a is the file name, .txt specifies the extension name. In the same way, you know this one. If you can understand that, you need not read this also. File name and extension name, every file will have these two parts. File names, you can use alphabets as well as digits. It also permits to the special characters to some extent based on the operating system that we use. Okay, so that is for naming a file. Extension names are fixed. Okay, so then how do you open a file? This is very important. So if you want to open a file, first you must create a file pointer. The file pointer is it is capital letters. In capitals you have to write it, file star fptr. This is the data structure that is used to define file pointer. So before opening a file, we need to declare a file pointer in this way. A file pointer has the complete information about file being opened and processed. Okay, so this one you have to mention the name of the file, and at the same time why you are opening that file. Whether it is using that file for writing or for creation or for reading, that is specified by the mode. Okay, so starting buffer addresses, all these things it contains, the file pointer contains where to start. It starts from the beginning of the file, and you have to move forward to read the characters in the file. Okay, suppose and then to perform any operation, read or write on a file, the file must be brought into the memory. That is very important. See, if you take this one, so anything that is there, it is open. Let me see this one. But currently, if you look at this one, so these are all the folders that are there. Suppose VMAC is the folder. So these are all on disks. Suppose if you want to read the contents of any of the files that is there, whether it is Excel file or Word file or anything, so this you have to, if you open it, it will be brought to the main memory. Currently this file is on the disk, secondary storage. If you open it, what happens? It goes to the main memory from the secondary storage. Once you are done everything, so bringing the copy of the file from disk to memory is called opening a file. So that is what, when you are opening it, it will the file that is there on the secondary storage will be brought to the main memory. That is nothing but RAM, what we call it as. Okay, so the modes of opening files are very simple. R is nothing but small or lowercase letters only. You have to use it. You have to use R for reading. If you are specifying for creating or writing, you have to use W. Particularly when you are creating a file, you have to open the file in write mode. And A, in the sense, it is a file is already there. There is some content in that. You want to add some more content at the end of that file. For that purpose, you can use A. That is nothing but appends to the existing text file. That is nothing but adds data at the end of the file. If the file doesn't exist, then new file is created. This is very important. If the file is not there, because you are opening it in A mode, it is for both appending and writing as well. Therefore, it will be created, and it creates a new file if the file does not exist. See, R, W, A. These three modes are for what we call ASCII text files. ASCII text files. If you are using those binary files or byte streams, the same thing is applicable. In the same way, you can open that file RB in mode, WB mode, AB mode. RB is nothing but open the binary file for reading, open the binary file for writing, open the binary file for appending, RB, WB, AB. But these are for, binary files. These are for, text files creation purpose, we use them. If you want to open a file for both read and write, you also can do that. The modes that are there are R plus, W plus, and at the same time A plus. Okay, so R plus is for both read and write. W plus is nothing but both, it creates a file and at the same time read and write purpose. And then A plus is nothing but appending and at the same time read and writing. In the same way, the same kind of operations, if you want to do both read write operations on binary files, you have to use R plus B, W plus B, A plus B. These three modes are applicable for binary files, not for text files. Okay, so you can use the file R plus B is nothing but the file is opened for read and write. W plus B is also nothing but you are creating a file and at the same time you can use it for reading as well. A plus B means if it is already there, it will be appended at the end of the file, whatever you are writing, and the same file you can use it for reading. You need not use another fopen function for separately. Okay, so you can do both operations in one go itself. For that purpose, these R plus B, W plus B, A plus B, and at the same time R plus, W plus, A plus, they will be helpful to us. Okay, so these are the, this mode specifies the purpose of opening a file, as I mentioned. Okay, whether you are opening it for reading, writing, appending. In the same way, the same modes are available on binary files RB, WB, or AB. If you want to do both operations, read and write in one go, you can use plus symbol for R plus, W plus, A plus, and the same thing is applicable, R plus, W plus, A plus, but you have to add B because you are working, if you are working with binary files, you need to take care of that point. That's it. So these are the different modes that are there. Okay, so this is what the more purpose of opening a file, and how to open a file. So this is as simple as such. Fopen function is already there. It takes two parameters. One is both are strings only, and one is the file name. You have to enclose both these in double quotes. One is the file name. You must mention that file name in double quotes, and at the same time mode of the file, whether it is reading, even if it is single letter also, R, W, A, that also you must write it in double quotes only, because it is a character string. You have to put that one, enclose that one in double quotes. So fopen function is used to open a file. It is already there in stdio.h header file. So both these are strings. You have to enclose them in double quotes. If you can understand that, you need not read these statements. These statements mentions the same thing. So now how it is opened, you see this one. This is an example for opening. First, you need to create a file pointer as we have seen it. Use that file pointer for opening a file. FP is equal to fopen. This is file name, my file. It is enclosed in double quotes. It is being opened for read mode. The R, it is also enclosed in double quotes. You see this one. These two things, two parameters are enclosed in double quotes. Okay, so if this is equal to null, if this function returns null, then this file is not existing. Okay, error in opening a file, it returns and it exits from the program. So it says that there is an error in opening a file and it exits exits from the program. If it is not null, then the file is successfully opened. The file is successfully opened. Okay, so now see, this is an algorithm to read data from a file. Before reading a file, we must create a file. So for that, I'll just mention this one. I'll modify this algorithm in the same way, in similar lines. Read the file, open the file in write mode. You have to open it. So let me explain that one. So what you have to do is, let me. So first you need to create a file pointer with file should be capital letter, star FPTR or something else, R star FT you can give it, and you can use that file pointer. FPTR is equal to fopen of file name. You have to give that file name. If the file name is a.txt, you write that one in a.txt, and if the file is opened for read, you have to write it like this and you can open it. If it is already there, there is no problem. Otherwise it gives an error, file does not exist error. That's why you need to check this one whether it is successfully opened or not. If it is not null, then you can go ahead. Otherwise you can tell that printf there is an error in opening a file, error, and you can just come out of that one. Okay, exit of one or exit of two, something else you can give. This is how you can test whether it is successfully opened or not. This is the way of opening a file. After that, what you can do is, as I told you, file creation purpose. First you need to create a file. For that purpose, what do we do is, you have to open the file, open in write mode. Open the file in write mode, then read the contents. Read the contents from the standard input device, and then write those contents. Write the contents into the file, and you can repeat these two steps as long as you want to, how much data you want to write into the file. You can read and read it from standard input device, and you can write it into the file. So this process is repeated until the data is completed into the file. Then you have to close that one with f close. Okay, close the file pointer. So this is the process generally that is followed in writing a file. Open the file in write mode and read the contents from the standard input device, write it onto the file. You repeat these two steps, and at the end you complete this. For this purpose, so if this is not visible to you, I'll just maximize it a bit. So will that be fine? Is the screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So as see, I have created a separate folder that is MVSR CSI webinar. I am just, moving into that file, CD directory file, MVSR CSI webinar. So in this, I have created a file for, I'll just open the file nano fcreate.c. See, this is the program that is there. If you cannot able to see this one, I'll just paste this one. Yeah. See here, what we have written here, it is just a header file, standard input output header file. Then void main, we created a file pointer, and then we have taken 3 parameters which are nothing but name, age and salary, and then we are opening the file. We are fptr equal to fopen of file name. We are using this so this, take this, this is the file name, and this is the mode that we are using it. So whenever you are creating a file, it should be opened in write mode. It should be opened in write mode. Now first check whether the file is already there or not, if it is successfully opened or not. See, fptr is equal to null, in the sense if file does not exist, it just returns, or you can use exit of 1 also, something else. Otherwise, if the file is successfully opened, what should you have to do is this, you need to read the name, then what is that, whenever you read the name it from the standard scanf, printf or standard input output functions, it reads, scanf reads from the standard input device, and it will be immediately written into the file associated with the file pointer fptr. What is the file name associated with fptr? The file name associated with fptr is emp.record. emp.record is the file name associated with this file pointer. And hereafter, once you open and assign that file name to this fptr, we don't use this file name again and again. We use this file pointer only for further references, for writing, reading, for everything. We use this file pointer only. We don't use file name every time. Okay, it is used only at the time of opening. That's it. So what is happening here is, if we are reading the name of the file, name of the employee, and it is read from the standard input device, and it is immediately written into the file associated with FPTR. The file associated with FPTR is emp.record. In the same way, it is also reading age, and at the same time, it is also reading the salary, and they are written into the file. They are written into the file. You can display them as well if you want. Okay, so that is the program that we have written it, and so if you want that one to be observed line by line, I'll open a text editor. Let me open this text editor. I'll just show it to you. I'll paste it and show it to you. If not visible in the yeah, it is open. Let me paste it. You see now the program is, you can clearly observe this. The file is we are declaring name as salary, and file we are opening it, and then checking whether the file is properly opened or not. And after that, what we are doing, just enter name. It is saying you are reading the name, you are writing it into the file pointer, file associated with the file pointer, the name you are writing it, and then age. Then age also being read from the standard input device, it will be written, and then salary as well. Once you have written everything, you have to close with FPTR, close with the FPTR, close of FPTR. This is what that is there in this source code. Okay, so the source code is as simple as such. Now, if you run this program, what should happen is emp.rec, there is emp.record, a file must be created with this name. It should contain name, age, salary of a particular employee. Okay, so this is what the program thing is. Do remember that it is opened in write mode. Now I'll just little bit maximize it for your purpose. See, I'm just listing the programs that are there, -L. Now you see there are only .c programs. There are no .rec, emp.record is not there. And if we create this one, you just compile this one, fcreate.c, and if there is no error, it has to display the prompt again on successful compilation. And if you want to redirect this one also, I'll just show it to you how to redirect the object code. Otherwise, it will be by default, it will be redirected onto a.out. If you execute this one, what will happen? It is creating a file with the name emp.record, and it is asking name, age, and salary. Those things you have to enter it, and let us enter these things. Some Ajay, and it will ask the age. Let it be 25, and the salary will be some 30,000 around. So you can enter these things. It will be successfully created. And if you see that, what is happening here, just list the contents. Now you see emp.record is there. emp.record is there. If you display the contents of this file, you can see the name, age, and salary that we have entered it. For displaying, what is the command that we use in Linux? You can use just cat emp.rec. Just see what are the contents that are there. So name, it is written like this, and age and salary, it is written like this. So even every time whenever you run that program, it will you have to remove that emp.rec and you have to create it. Once you have created the file, if you want to add more number of records, you have to open it in append mode only. You have to open it in append mode only. Then you can add more number of records at the end of the current file, So this is how you have to create the files using fopen and write the contents using fprintf. Okay, so what is the thing that we have seen it? We haven't. What are the functions that we used it? Fopen is one function that is that is used for opening the file, and then this, if it is successfully opened, it will be assigned to fptr, and the same we are checking it here. After that, every time when we are writing into the file, we are using fptr, not the file name, fprintf name, fprintf age, and fprintf salary. Like this we have used in a in a formatted way to write the contents. Once it is done, we are closing it. We are closing the file pointer. Okay, so that is one way. That is one way of creating. The other thing is, just once you have created it, you must read it. So what we have to do is, this is how it will be read. First, what you have to do, declare the file pointer, open the file in write mode, the file name, whatever the file name that you want to specify, you specify it here. Check whether it is properly opened, and read character by character from the file pointer using getC, and display it onto the string, onto the screen. But at the end of the file, if the character ends is not having any more characters, it leads to end of the file. Therefore, as long as it is not end of the file, the character is not an empty character, then what you have to do is, you have to keep on read character by character in forward direction and print it. So this is how you have to display it. This is what the functionality written in just cat command that we have seen it now. Okay, so you can use in this manner for reading the contents of a file. Okay, so let us see what is the program that we have written it. Clear. Nano fread.c. See now, what is happening here is, we are using a character. Just we have to read character by character file pointer. But the thing is, we are reading the file from the standard input device. We are not giving it directly in double quotes in fopen. You can give that one also. Then in that way also, double quotes within double quotes you can give, or else you can read the file from the standard input device. Whatever the file you want to read it, you tell, and use that file name in fopen, and check whether it is properly opened or not. And after that, you start reading character by character. It is the same logic we are also employing it here. While ch equal to fgetc of fp, as long as it is reading characters from the file fp associated with the file pointer fp, and it is not equal to eof, print that character. You can use putchar as well. Instead of using printf, you can use putchar as well. And once it comes to the end of the file, just close the file pointer and complete it, return 0 and close the program. So this is what the program for reading the contents of a file using R mode, Okay, so now what do we do is, let us run this program. Control X. So earlier, what is the command we used to read the contents of emp.rec? Cat emp.rec we used. Now what shall we do is, let us compile our fread program, fread.c, and it is compiled. Now you use that a.out. Then what it is asking? It is asking a file from which we want to see the contents. I am giving emp.rec command, file name I am giving. It has to take that file name to open it, and because the file is in the same directory, therefore there is no path issues as well. If the file is there in some other location, you need to specify the path of the file, C:/ or something else if you are using Windows. If you are using Linux environment, /home/mec, like that path you have to give it. Then you see this one. See, this is directly displaying the contents of the file cat, but here it is asking us to read from which file we are reading it. Then it is saying that contents of emp.rec file are, because this is what we have written. This is what we have written. The program that is written by us, we have some clarity. It is just displaying the contents. You can use it, or else what you can do is you can make this command as well. I'll tell you how to make this command. Remove reading the file from this standard input device, and remove this formatted output as well, or else you can keep this one, but this can be removed. And let us go to the program. Let us go to nano fread.c. What do we do is remove this file name and this entire thing also. These two statements also not required. Make them comments. These two are not required. And you give the file name. The file name that we have created is /emp.rec. Okay, so give that one, separate with semicolon, and then what do we do is this thing happens. %s is not required, and this is also not required. Just it has to display the contents. Make this also as a comment line. That's it. And just write it, Control C, and compile this one. When you are compiling it, gcc fread.c -o. What do you do is, disp, you say that it is display. Okay, so you say that it is display. Then what happens is it will be compiled, and the object code is written into the display file, display, and then what you can do is /display. You can use this one for running. So dot space is the problem. Now it is displaying the contents. Okay, so what is the command you are using here? Instead of cat, you are creating a command called display. Okay, so sometimes this fread.csc.c, some operating systems will create exe file as well. You can use that exe file as the command of your own command as well. So it is now displaying the contents just like the existing command cat. Okay, just like existing command cat. So you can use, whenever you want to display the contents of this file, you can use this display. Okay, so this is how you can modify the programs and make your own commands. For all the basic Linux commands, you can create your own commands like this using C programming. Okay, so that is what reading, file reading. Okay, so then end of file, this, that, and all, you know this. Generally a file contains large amount of data. In a large file, it is difficult to detect the end of file while reading, but here it is there. It is EOF is stored at the end. The special character EOF is stored at the end. This is the thing that is maintained in C files. Okay, so once you are done with, you have to close that one, fclose of file pointer. You have to close this file pointer. That's it. This also we have used in these, in the two programs which we have seen. Okay, so then this is what it is showing, the same program, fclose of fp. It is saying that once you are done, you have to close the file pointer. Okay, so appending in the sense, what you can do is you can add the number of lines at the end of the current file, and you can do that as well. So for that, for reading the number of lines, fgets, and for writing them onto the file pointer, fputs we use, because fgets and fputs, they'll read one line at a time, and they will be, see, because earlier we used get C, put C, fget C, fput C. So these two just only read one character, but these reads fgets and fputs reads one line at a time, and then that it reads one line of the content from the file, and this writes this one line of string into the file pointer. That is the only difference between fgetC and fputC. Okay, so these two are used in writing this thing. This is the simple program that is there. What it is doing, he is declaring a line and character. So he is reading character by character till one line is completed, and that line he is writing into the file pointer. That's it. So this is how it is happening. And see, let us do one thing. What I'll do is nano some a.txt. Let us create a text file. This is welcome to the webinar. This is a sample file created for demonstration. And just okay, we have created these two lines, and a.txt is there, already there. And what we can do is /display a.txt. Sorry, what do we do is we will go to this fread, nano fread. Here, instead of emp.txt, let us give, I'm giving this a.txt file, and we are reading it. Control O, Control X, and then compile this one, because we need to compile this one. GCC dispu, right? Then it is successfully compiled. Now you display it. It is the file, it is just reading a.txt file, whatever we have written character by character. Because this empty line is, we come to the new line and we didn't add anything in that line. That's why this empty line has come. This empty line will be, it is like that only. If you append anything, at the end of this line only it will be appended. Okay. So whatever you have written it, at the end of this line only it will be appended. So what do we do is nano f append dot c. Let us open this file. You see here, we are declaring a file pointer, and how many lines we want to add also we have to tell. For that, I we are using, n is the number of lines that it reads. Each line, we assume that it takes 100 characters, and f name, file name also we are specifying it. See, file name a.txt, str1, this is another string. See, append multiple lines at the end of the file, printf, input the file name to be opened. We are reading this file name %yes, and that file name we are using it in opening. F name comma append mode. Do remember, we are using A mode, not R or W. We are using append mode. Okay. Enter the number of lines to be written. We are giving 2 lines or 3 lines or 10 lines according to your requirement, you tell. And see, those many number of lines times you have to read the contents. F gets it, reads it, and then from the standard input device it reads, and those entire line is written into the file pointer using f puts. F gets and f puts we are using. This is reading it from the standard input. std in is nothing but the standard input device, and you have to give that line, and whatever the line it reads, it is writing into the file. Okay, that's it. Once you are done, you are closing it. Okay, so after that, you are opening the same file for reading. Whatever the contents that are appended, you can display them. The contents of the file, you can display it character by character. That is nothing but fread. File reading character by character, it is happening. If it is not end of file, it will be displayed using printf %c str1, or you can use putchar of str1 also. Instead of this str1, you can use fgets. It takes another character, and if that character is not end of file, it prints. This reads one character, and for the first time we are reading it outside the loop. After that, it is reading each character from the file inside. If that is not end of file, it will be displayed. So what we are doing here in this, we are opening the file in append mode, and how many lines we are appending, we are reading them one line by line, we are reading and writing into the file. After that, whatever the contents of the file that we have written, and the modified file, we are displaying it. Modified file, we are displaying it. So let us go to the execution part. See what are the contents that are there in the current file a.txt. Let us just display that one, cat a.txt. These are the contents that are there. Now gcc f append dot c. What do we do is, let us compile this one, ./a.out. Then what it will specify, you have to tell the file name. Let us say a.txt is the file name that we are giving it, and how many lines you want to add. Let us say 3 lines we are adding it. So let us add this one. This is the first line, and this is the second line. Okay, and this is the third line. So like that, we have added 3 lines. After that, you see these two lines are already existing. At the end of the first, see, one line is empty line. After that, it is adding one more line, double slash n we have given. And at the end of the file, this is first line, this is second line, and this is third line. It is adding it. For your purpose, just you display with cat or freed anything, cat. So what is that one? A.txt. Now you see what are the contents that are there. We have added 3 lines at the end of the already existing file a.txt. So this is what appending the contents of a appending the contents at the end of a file. How many lines you want to add, you can add them. Okay, so this is what file appending. This code slightly modified, and we have read how many lines you want to read. Those lines we are reading here. Also we are using instead of fgets, it is using a while loop, character by character it is reading. You can use fgets for reading it and a line directly, and fputs is entire line you are writing it into the file, and that's it. So you are displaying it. So this is what file appending. So modifying a file, this is very important. So whatever the file contents that are there, which line you want to modify or which character you want to modify, you need to go to that particular location with the help of fseek, fseek function, and with ftell function you can come to know what is the current position of the file pointer. So a file can be accessed in 2 ways, serial access and random access. Generally, all the serial access is nothing but sequential access, one after the other, character by character only. Random access in the sense you can directly go to that particular location and you can read from that line. See, suppose if you are having a cassette, if there are 10 songs in that cassette, if you want to listen to 5th song, you have to either listen first 4 or you have to fast forward first 4. If it is a CD, you can directly go to click on the fifth song and you can listen to it. That is what serial access and random access. Okay, the best example that you can remember is serial access and random access. Okay, generally all the text files are considered to be sequential. The beginning of each record in a sequential file is unpredictable, because where it is beginning you may not come to know exactly. But in random access files, all the records are of the same length, therefore you can come to know where it begins. Each record where it begins you can easily come to know. Okay, so modifying the files, this is what you have to open it, whether it is in R+ mode or W+ mode or A+ mode. Initialize the file pointer, open the file both in read and write mode, read the data from the file pointer, move the file pointer to the place where you want using fseek, and you can do that one and repeatedly these 3-4 steps, and that is what the algorithm for modifying the files. So this is some other program. See, fseek is the function that is used here for setting the file pointer position. Okay, for setting the file pointer position, this is what I would like to convey to you, fseek. So where you want to set offset, you have to tell, and current reference also you have to tell. To which file you are setting to this file associated with this file pointer. Okay, so moves the pointer from one record to another. The first argument is a file pointer. The second argument is nothing but how many bytes the pointer should be moved forward. Okay, the third argument, from the current position it has to move to the specified number of bytes. Argument reference from where pointer should be moved. Okay, n bytes it has to move it. So which means that I'll just tell it to you. So it is as simple as such. Suppose the first one is the FPTR. Assume that it has to move 100 bytes. Assume that the current pointer is at 10. Okay, then what it will happen is this file associated with this file pointer, if the current if it is at the 10th location, from there it will be moved forward to 110 location. I mean 1/10 byte it points to. Okay, so which means that you can easily forward set the current file pointer with the help of fseek. What is the function that we are using? Fseek. Okay, so this is how you have to set the file pointer. Okay, so let me show what is the program that we have for modification. ls-l. I have a file called nanofedit.c. In this, what we are doing is we are opening it in read plus mode. Assume that we are opening it in read plus mode. Reading and writing both are happening here. The file is a.txt, which we have created it now. And if this is, we are checking it whether it is properly opened or not. And after that, what we are doing is we are reading a character. If that character is yes, then print that character. And what you have to do is move one position before from the current position. Then what is happening is you just write Z in place of yes. You just write Z, F puts of C, Z, and in that location. Okay, now fseek it is going to the beginning of the file. Every time it is going to the beginning of the file from the current location, it is going to 0th location. 0th byte in the sense nothing but beginning of the file, and it checks, it reads character by character. If the character is yes, it is replaced with Z. In order to write Z in place of yes, you have to move one position before. That is nothing but -1 byte you have to move. -1 specifies if you are at 10th, you add -1 to the current location. That means you will go to 9th byte. There you are there, and if you write it, the character will be written at 10th location. The character will be written at 10th location, which means that the yes character is replaced every time with the Z. You can do anything like this. After that, what you are doing is you are closing the file pointer. Okay, so this is how you are using fseek function to set the location of the current file pointer. Okay, so this is what the simple program. How many times it finds, it displays. How many times yes is found in the file is displayed, because you are printing it. Okay, number of yeses you are printing it. Okay, and now write the function file into the contents into the file, then come out of it. Just gcc fedit.c you write. fedit.c if you write it, so if you compile it, if it will be successfully compiled, then a.out you use it, and then you see how many SS it is displaying. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 SS are found. I think all these SS are replaced with Z. Okay, have to be replaced with Z. Okay, so if you display the contents of the contents of the file a.txt, you will easily come to know cat a.txt. Now you see this one, what is happening. S is found here, S is replaced with Z. S is found here, second time it is replaced. Demonstration S is found here, it is replaced with Z. Now it is successfully replacing every S with Z. Now you rewrite it, you edit the file, nano fedit. Now you rewrite it. Let us come to that part. Let us this yes, instead of wherever it finds Z, you do this one, reverse, you do this, ask it to replace it with yes, then rewrite it and come out of the editor, compile it. You need to compile it whenever it is modified, ./a.out. Now you see, it is telling how many times Z is found, and if you display the contents of a.txt, they will be displayed properly, because every time earlier it is S is replaced with Z. Now this Z is replaced with yes, you are getting the original file. Okay, so you can modify the contents of a file with the help of fseek in this manner. Okay, so this is what fseek and how it will be used it in our programs for modifying the contents. See, seek end, seek current, seek set. These are the three constants that are there. We used seek current, moves the pointer from the current point. It moves the pointer from end. This is moves the pointer from the beginning of the file. So we are using seek current. We used it in our program. These are the three constants that are there from where you have to move the current file pointer. Okay, so fseek, these are the examples that are there, which we have already used them, and this tells the difference between sequential files and random access files. Difference between sequential and random access files. These are the common things which you can read on your own, and these are self-explanatory. Okay, so now I'll just show you how to copy the contents of this file to another file. Fcopy, you can use the same program, nano fcopy.c. See what is happening here. What is the source file? Source file and the target file you are reading, and you are fptr1 instead of fptr1. Source file pointer, target file pointer, you are declaring as the two file pointers. Just read the source file, you open it in read mode, because source file must be opened in read mode, target file must be opened in write mode, because you need to read the character from the source file, write that character into the target file. Okay, so if that is successfully opened, this will be okay. Otherwise it returns file not found error. Press any key to exit, and you read the target file and you open it in write mode. If it is check whether it is successfully opened or not. Okay, if it is successfully opened, what it is doing, you see, fgetc reading a character from source file, and as long as it is not end of file, it is writing that character into the target file. Instead of displaying it, it is writing that character into target file. That's it. So this will happen, character by character reading will happen till the end of the file, and that character, every character will be written into the target file. Okay, so this is file is successful, file copied successfully. It will display this message, and F close, both of them you have to close, or else you can close F close all also you can use, or else you can close one by one as well, like this. Okay, so this is one of the program that copies the contents of one file to another. So this is Control X, you come out of this one, clear, compile this one, GCC, what is that one, fcopy.c. It is compiled. Now you see -L, there is only one text file, a.txt. Okay, on successfully running, we have to create b.txt as the target file. We are copying a.txt contents. See, let us copy a.txt contents to another file, .csv, a.out. See, what is the existing file, a.txt. Okay, so enter the target file. It is assumed that it is b.txt. So it is successfully copied. You need not worry about that one. But if you want, you read that one, you just display cat a.txt and cat b.txt. Both will be there. It will be displayed. And even if you list the contents also, contents of the file also, you see earlier b.txt was not there. Now it is there because of this copy, successful copying. Okay, the same thing you can use it. emp.record is there. You copy that one into a emp1.record. You execute that one because a.out contains the most recent object code that is compiled. Most recent compiled file object code is stored in a.out. Now emp.rec you take and you copy that one to emp1.record. So it is successfully copied. Now if you look at the contents of the file, contents of the directory, what happens, you see ls-l. Oh no, there is, I should give some gap. Okay, so ls-l. Now you see emp1.record is there, emp.record is there. Two files are there because it is successfully copied. Okay, in this way you can copy the contents. Okay, so I think these are the operations that we can perform on files. And apart from this, if you are familiar with command line arguments, I think working with files are familiar to you. Okay, I showed the programs for creating, reading, writing a file, appending a file, and at the same time editing the contents of a file, how to modify the contents, and at the same time one more program copying the contents of one file to another. These are all basic commands that are there in Linux. If you create executable files for this, instead of already existing commands, you can make use of these commands in your operating system environment. If these are the exe files that are there that you have created, create them and make them run at any path. You can you are in a position to use your own commands than the existing operating system commands. Okay, so we are running out of the time. We are already crossed 12:30. So any more doubts on this? I'm not reading the points that are there in this. I'm just leaving it to you because these are just theoretical contents. I have explained what is a file, how to open a file, what are the modes, and what is the function that we have to use it, fopen, and how to close a file, fclose, and how to read the contents of a file from the file, fgetc, fgets, and fputc and fputs, for one character we use fputc, and for one line fputs we use, fput yes we use, and at the same time to change the location of the current file pointer fseek we use, and at the same time to know the contents as you know file pointer ftell we can use, ftell of fptr. That's it. It just returns the byte number where the current file is located. That's it. That is not mentioned in this presentation. That is the only thing I think it is missed. Otherwise, all the contents are covered, what are required for manipulating the files, creating, opening, reading, this, that, and all. For all the operations, we have the programs and we have seen them. So anything else? Any doubts?
We request the participants to stay muted till the end of the session. If anybody has doubts, you can drop it in the chat box.
Yeah, you can raise your hand, or else you can write it in the chat box as well. Yes,
I
yes.
request Rajeshwari, please mute your mic. I request Rajeshwari to turn her mic off.
It is being a disturbance for others. Just mute your phones and ask them if you have any doubts. You can raise your hand as well, or else you can type in your doubts in the chat box as well.
Students, do you have any queries? Just ask them and clarify your doubts.
So if that is the case, can we wind up?
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Madam, Ramya Madhu, Madam.
We request all the participants to fill the
Yeah,
form.
one message has come. Let me see. It has come. So the question is, I can't understand this. Whenever you need a text file or a binary file, you can create it. If there is no need, you will not go for creation of a file. But so where would we use the code? In the sense is the code is when we are creating it, when we want to read it, when we see why we are using these commands, cat, cp, this, that, and all. Cat is for displaying the contents of a file, cp for copying, mv for moving. We are instead of those commands, you can create your own file, your own program, and you can make use of them. Or else, if you don't want to use cat, or you are not working at command prompt, so all of a sudden you are working with some file, you are working with some application where you need to read the contents of a student information. At that time, what do? You have to open the existing file, you have to open read the character by character, and then you have to display it, or else you have to use it for processing. Suppose if you want to know the result of a particular roll number 101, then you have to go, you have just set the file pointer to roll number 101, read the marks of the particular record, and you can assess it, what is the result of that particular student. In that way, wherever it is required, then only we will create it and use this code. That's it. Still,
Okay, sir. We will end up the session. Arshita, request to
Yes,
proceed
sir.
further.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the very much informative session and your valuable time. Now I request Ramya Madhavi, Madam, Assistant Professor, ITD, MBSR, EC, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Harshita. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ramya Madhav, Assistant Professor, IT Department, and I'm here to present the vote of thanks for today's webinar. I would like to thank our guest speaker, Dr. T. Veeraya, for enlightening us with their knowledge. And today's webinar was full of knowledge and interesting things. It gives up deep insights into the file management using C and also reveals some interesting facts. And the point where the Viraya sir told us about the sequence and random access of the file was very informative. And I'm pretty sure the precious knowledge that Dr. T. Viraya gave us will definitely help us in our studies and future. And once again, I would like to thank Dr. T. Viraya for taking out time from their busy schedule and enlightening us with the knowledge. And thank you so much, sir. I would like to thank our management members and also our beloved principal G. Kankadurga Madam for giving a permission for organizing this webinar session and inviting the Professor Veeraya to conduct it. And I would also thank to Professor J. Prasanna Kumar sir, convener CSI MVSR student branch, and Dr. Jayashree, head of the department, IT department. Dr. Sirisha Dagubati, student branch counselor, CSI MVSR student branch, and Dr. A.V. Krishna Prasad sir for organizing this webinar, and P. Amba Bhavani, the coordinator. And not only that, the student committee, Harshita, Navya, Jahnavi, who have helped us a lot for conducting this. And YouTube streaming done by Rohit and Praneeth worked hard for making this event successful. And not only that, I thank all the students present here for paying attention and learning. I end up my speech here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. We'll be winding up the session right now. We request all the participants again to fill the feedback form. And thank you, everyone, for your presence here today. Signing off.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Viray sir.
Thank you, Veeraya sir, for an informative session. Thank you, sir.